For a chance to enter in this giveaway, simply subscribe to my channel, drop a like on this video, share this video around, comment 5 reasons as to why you should be selected in this giveaway with this specific figure that you want to be entered with. Also, make sure to follow me on Instagram and take a screenshot that you have already subscribed to my channel with the like button and of your comment for me to verify that you are actually following the rules. Thank you so much. This is my 10K special giveaway to you guys. I hope you enjoy and good luck to everybody. Some of those figures will be customized to make them more unique to you guys and more special. Thank you guys for watching. Enjoy the rest of the video. So for this video, we're going to be comparing the Burning Godzilla version for the NECA, and this is the 2019 version, this is the 2020 version, and we're going to see if there's actually any differences between the older model and the newer updated model, and that way you get an idea if you should upgrade or pick up a brand new figure, or if you're just okay with the traditional older version. So one of the major differences that I noticed on the newer Burning Godzilla is that it's actually using pink ball joints, not only on the tail but throughout the body, and that is a major difference that I saw. I'm not sure why, but I think I might have an idea later on, which I analyzed the figures and I'll tell you. So straight off the bat, you might not see a major difference between both of them, but there actually is. So this is the older one on the left, the newer one is on the right. So as you can see right now, the newer version stands way taller than the older version, and that's because the older version has problems in this particular area where the legs are more hunched over, as if he was getting ready to send out the explosion towards the end of the movie, and it has trouble standing up straight. Even if I wanted to, that's the best that it can do, whereas the newer version completely stands up straight, and even the articulation is improved, which I will show you later on. So another difference that I spotted on both of them, the dorsal plates. This one has a more yellow with a red type of color throughout the dorsal plates, whereas this one has a more orange and yellow with a little bit of red. So this one is yellow orange. So here's a close-up of the colors. Hopefully you can tell the difference between the dorsal plates. Another major difference is, look at this section right here. It has way more color popping out, whereas this area isn't. It looks much perfect. It looks like people actually took their time to paint this in a much professional way. You don't see much veins, you only see like one line right here. This one has more, which is interesting. Even the leg section, they are completely different, but even if I turn it the other way around, you can see it's basically the same thing. They are different in those areas, so that is something to look at. And again, the dorsal plates are different. Just look at that. Yellow with red, orange with a little bit of yellow and red. And you guys can see right here, this paint is coming out more towards his body, whereas this area isn't. It's much perfect, and this one just looks messier. Now another difference I noticed on the older version, you guys can see that the pupil or the eyeball is much larger, whereas the newer version has them a little bit smaller, and they're kind of done in a more white type of color, where this one has yellow and white. They're much bigger. Here you can see them smaller, so here's a comparison for you guys. So that's another change that I noticed. And also on the dorsal plates, they have different colors on the neck section. Let me know which one you prefer currently, the bigger eyeballs or much smaller ones. Taking a look at the front section, you guys can see this is more matte. You can see a little bit of color, a little bit of black right here, but this one, the newer version, seems to be more glossy, more defined. You can see more details on the neck section. This one right here particularly, right here, has more charcoal black, whereas this one, the older version, doesn't. And yes, you guys can see some differences even on the arms. This one has more black, this one doesn't. It does, but not as much as this one right here. And also, just look at this, the way the neck works. So on the older one, this is all the movement that he can get. He can't really look down and not even up. So this is as much as he can look up. Now on the newer version, he can look all the way up, side to side. Movement is much improved on this one. He can look straight forward and a lot all the way up. So articulation is definitely improved on the newer version. Another major difference that I noticed on the older version, the claws on the feet have a more glossy touch, whereas the newer version, they're more matte and they aren't as translucent as the older version. So keep that in mind, that there is significant changes on both the older and newer version. There's improvements and there's downfalls for both of them. Now for the pink material or pink ball joints, I think that helps the newer version with better articulation and just gives this figure better possibility to achieve what you're seeing right now. So in case you don't believe me, this one, the newer version, has a pink ball joints. The older one doesn't. It's more like a red translucent. The newer one is a pink color. So I'm guessing this overall helps the figure just stand up straight, because the older one just has this problem where it isn't standing fully straight. It looks more like hunched over, and that was one of my concerns and problems. It just looks like it's getting ready to, you know, blow up Ghidorah, and if I try to stand him up straight, this is a problem that you end up getting with this older version. And you guys can see the big gaps throughout the body. It just doesn't look normal, and the legs come out into a V type of section, and no, that just looks oddly weird. Now the newer version doesn't have that problem. As you see, it is fully standing up straight. There's no real gaps to complain about, and the back section looks really good. I don't see any problems with it, and just so you guys get an idea of how this one looks. See the big gaps right here? This one doesn't have that. The back section. So see how it comes out really oddly on this one, whereas this one is fully standing up straight. I mean, I can even actually move the leg this direction. It actually reminds me like the same material on the supercharged and the regular 2019, and much maneuverable soft material, whereas this original 2019, I really can't do that. It's like super hard, like the material isn't easy to work with, and you guys can see how it just looks really weird. Like, just look at that and look at this right here. Those are some of the differences, and just look at this. For the articulation, this one looks fully up like the supercharged. This one really can't even do that. Look, I'm trying as hard as possible, but if I do it even more, it's going to break. That's as straight as it can be. And just look at the improvement on this one. This one, the newer Burning Godzilla, has improvements in color with better paint job throughout the body, better articulation. The posability is way better, and I just really like this one, how he looks straightforward, and that is a huge change for me. And you guys can see how there's a height difference. This one is supposed to be like this, even more shorter, and just because of the tail, because it's standing on it, if I take it off it would look awfully short, but you guys get an idea of how much bigger this one is. And there's actually more differences, but for that I'm going to use the light so you guys can see what I'm talking about. From what I noticed, The translucent material on the newer version is casted in a more pink red, whereas the original is a more translucent red. And I also noticed that the newer version is less translucent than the original one. The original one, if you put a light behind it, you can actually see the dorsal plates light up because it's translucent, right? Whereas the newer version, you don't really get that effect, and if you do, it looks more pink and these spikes don't glow, meaning they are not translucent or barely translucent. So now I'm going to be showing you in video proof in case you think I'm changing them. This is the original 2014. As you can see, it is more translucent. You can see that translucency on the dorsal plates throughout the body. In person, it looks more like red, orange type, even the tail, everything. So that's the OG. This is the original right here. Now the newer version, keep that in mind, I'm going to put them in the same position. You guys can see that the dorsal plates are not translucent. It is barely translucent. You guys can see that there's some pinkish around the body right here. It looks more pink to me in person. I'm trying to put the light as close as possible to the dorsal plates. There's no light coming through. It's barely coming through. So the newer version, it is translucent, but not as much as the original. And you guys can see right there, it looks translucent, but it's more a translucent pink to me in person. That's how I see it. It has improved articulation, but just watch the difference. Look, I'm not doing anything. I'm not changing the video. I'm not cheating right here. You guys can see the original is simply more translucent. See, even if I put it super close, there's no translucent dorsal plates. Those are glowing much better.